If you've been alive at any point in the past couple of years, you've heard about or played a Battle Royale game. The genre is a social phenomenon that has invaded popular culture. Whether it's Drake playing Fortnite, Post Malone playing PUBG, or Adult Swim griping about the game's servers, it's hard not to see or hear about this stuff if you're even remotely familiar with gaming. Arma's DayZ mod, H1Z1, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Fortnite, Radical Heights, and a plethora of other survival-based games have experienced a lot of commercial success recently, and their success is a polarizing topic. If you skim Reddit boards, forums, or comment sections, you'll quickly see people taking sides about which game is better, which game is original, and which of these games is going to die out first. Some people even think that the entire genre is a fad that will die out sometime in the not-so-distant future. While it's certainly a possibility that concurrent player numbers in Fortnite and PUBG will decline at some point, it's very unlikely that these games are ever going to actually die. PUBG still has the highest concurrent player peaks every day on Steam, and it's not like it's gonna die overnight. Battle Royale games are also at or near the top of Twitch on a daily basis, and new games like Ring of Elysium and Radical Heights show that the audience isn't just for PUBG and Fortnite. There's something about Battle Royale as a style of game that infatuates the human mind. This isn't just about video games either, though. You see the popularity of survival in books and movies like The Hunger Games and World War Z, and you see the inspiration for PUBG Battle Royale. All of those are famous movies, and there are also TV shows like The Walking Dead, and there's even real-life zombie survival kits and these crazy training centers that you can go to and pay your own hard-earned money to actually experience. The point is, survival is ingrained in pop culture, and it's more pervasive now than ever before. PUBG's success is a reflection of that obsession. However, the interesting part of Battle Royale games being popular isn't just that they are popular, it's why. Why are they popular? Consider that post-apocalyptic survivalism isn't an entirely new genre in video games. Stuff like Fallout, The Last of Us, and way too many zombie games have made millions of dollars already. Battle Royale takes those experiences and adds PvP. It's a more personal feeling when 100 other real people land on the same island with you. These aren't mindless zombies with terrible AI, they are real people who use strategy and tactics, and it gives the player the feeling that they are actually being hunted. The majority of new players that I have played PUBG with prefer to hide and avoid confrontation instead of getting into a gunfight. I think that says a lot about the fear aspect that the game is centered on. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions a human being experiences, and PUBG toys with that emotion like no other game. I've never seen anything else make a streamer's handshake or make them freak out in the same way that PUBG does. This fear applies particularly to new players, but it's a rush that most of us feel at some point, even if we become less scared after we have 100 hours in the game or even more. Fear increases our body's adrenaline output and even provides a high that lasts for a few minutes before a crash. If you've ever been in the final circle of a battle royale, you'll know this feeling. Your heart rate rises, you forget that you aren't actually in the game, and you become obsessed with surviving. If you die, you immediately feel a mental crash, and if you win, you breathe a sigh of relief, a few seconds of extreme happiness, and then you crash. The fear and adrenaline that Battle Royale games produce is unique, and it isn't something that can be found in just any old game. The high of battle is at its strongest in these Battle Royales, and people will always come back to replicate that feeling. Another emotional draw to these games are the memories they create. Thanks to lots of RNG-based things like weapon spawns and changing circles, each playthrough is different than the next. Each match has its own story, and when you play with friends, all of you share that story. You'll pass the same building or tree a few days or weeks later and say, hey, remember when we won a chicken dinner there? Or remember when I died to that guy with a pan there? Pretty much every Battle Royale lets you play with squads, and they are all random in their gameplay, which makes for a lot of fun memories like that. Battle Royale is a shared experience, and that is an important part of its sustainability and a big reason that this genre is here to stay. Okay, so I've hit on the fact that there is a particular psychological draw to these games that makes players want to come back for more. However, there is something else at play here that makes Battle Royale so popular. People like to watch these games as much as they like to play them. PUBG was the #1 title on Twitch for quite a while last year, and now Fortnite has taken its place. Many large streamers will now switch between the two, and are taking every opportunity to try new battle royales like Radical Heights, Islands of Nine, and Ring of Elysium. So this isn't about one game being better than the other, although Fortnite did single-handedly increase Twitch's Prime membership by 70%, I'll admit that. The point is that Ninja, Summit, Shroud, Dr. Disrespect, and Lyric play these Battle Royale games more than they do any other genre. They might switch back and forth between different Royales, but the fact that they are trying new ones out shows that they believe in the future of this genre at large. People enjoy watching survival, and it's pretty evident if you drop by a Twitch chat from any of these large streamers. It's normally a collection of fans saying, play PUBG or play Fortnite, and arguing over which one their favorite streamer should play today. Shroud even had to compromise with his chat at one point and agreed to play PUBG for a few hours, then Fortnite for a few more. These rabid fan bases show that no matter which game is better in your personal opinion, these games and others like them are going to continue to be a dominant presence in the industry because they are very watchable. If PUBG continues to push its esports scene, then viewership will increase even further in the future. At this point, I'm sure many of you watching this are laughing at the idea of PUBG esports and preparing to throw tomatoes at me, but Brendan Green's emphasis on competitiveness in PUBG is very real, and he hasn't strayed from that path at any point in the past year. The competitive modes for the game are much different from what casual players experience. Timing, loot, and the zones are all optimized for balance and the smallest amount of luck factor as possible. Venues and events for PUBG have also improved over time, and several prestigious organizations have started PUBG teams. If you think it's silly to think about that, and you're about to start sending the esports ready memes, go ahead. But I'm serious when I say that a continued focus on esports will increase the viewership of these games even further and will be one of the key ways that Battle Royale thrives over the next several years. It's already there in a primitive state, and it's just going to continue to improve. A viable competitive scene can and will keep this genre on top. In a recent interview about the future of PUBG, Brendan Green stated that he and his team are heavily invested in an esports infrastructure. They are working with teams around the world to build a solid base to support organizations and players to make this competition thrive. His goal is to see PUBG as an esport within 3 years, with big events, big venues, and actual yearly league play. So the esports industry is already larger than it has ever been before, with ridiculously large prize pools and appearances on television, and these games are going to take advantage of that. H1Z1 already has a pro league and has received financial backing from multiple companies who are behind the push from esports 1.0 to esports 2.0. This involves things like circular stages of over 70 people that makes the event feel more accessible to fans. As it stands now, esports appeals mostly to people who are highly familiar with the game they're watching, but many Battle Royale developers and financial backers of esports feel that games like H1 or PUBG are more well suited to create a sport that is entertaining to everyone, even if they're just casual watchers. Jace Hall, the co-chairman of one of the largest game promotion companies in the world, says that when you go to esports 2.0, the league itself, the ingestion of a player, how someone goes from their tricycle to their racing bike, all of that is not necessarily related to the game. That will need to exist for any game in esports, and how well you do these things will be the most critical pieces to driving interest in the league. Battle Royale is particularly well suited to that vision, and it bodes well for the success of these games in the future. With recent news that DICE and Activision are both developing a Battle Royale mode for Battlefield 5 and Black Ops 4 respectively, the genre's competitive potential is becoming even more real. On the other side of the coin, Bluehole and Epic have both shown that their interests are in providing that casual fun for these games for the long haul too, though. Both PUBG and Fortnite are updated frequently, and the roadmaps show that the dev teams don't intend on dropping these titles anytime soon. Event modes, custom servers, and a continued interest in making the game better are evident in both cases, which is a big reason that they haven't lost momentum over the last several months. I've been playing PUBG and Fortnite since they both came out, and I'll tell you that these two games in their current states are nothing like they were a year ago. If it wasn't for the continued changes and updates that have been provided to these games, it would have already died out. But they haven't, and they're not going to. We're left to consider a few things here. First, Battle Royale, at its core, is popular because of the experiences that people share with friends and the adrenaline that survival creates. Second, it's a very watchable style of game that millions of people tune into every single day. Third, Battle Royale competitive play is already a reality, and the future of the genre as an esport is bright. And finally, the teams behind these two most successful Battle Royale games to date have shown that they are dedicated and devoted to improving these things over time. So Battle Royale is fun to play, fun to watch, is receiving financial backing for competitive play, and is being created by passionate developers who won't leave the games to die. When considering all of that, it's clear to me that Battle Royale isn't a fad. It isn't going to die, and it isn't just some craze that sheep mindlessly flock to. It's here to stay, and if you think otherwise, well, you're wrong. And maybe in a few years we can all come back to this video and talk about things have changed. Of course, if you think I'm wrong, tell me about it and give me your reasons, because I would love to hear your thoughts. If you liked this video, be sure to share it. If you didn't, don't. But if you did, you can watch another one of our Talks videos in the corner, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.